There was a big announcement apparently today from the MLB and Topps. We obviously had opening day baseball. Like many of you, I hit the record button and watched the Giants play like a AAA baseball team. Won't waste any time talking about that. But there are these new, I did see this on the TV. There was a Yankees player making his MLB debut, and he had this little tiny little patch, as you can see maybe there potentially on the screen. And apparently, when an MLB player makes his debut, he's going to have this tiny little patch, and they're going to cut this off and make a one-of-one baseball card. Now, pretty decent idea. I actually think this is kind of cool. Honestly, I think what would be cooler is if you wore this for a month or like a couple of weeks, and then you create a bunch of these cards. But look, a one-of-one baseball card with this patch on it, certainly if it's a rookie prospect that has caught a lot of hype or anything like that, might be kind of interesting. But Fanatics build this as one of the biggest announcement and the most innovative moves in trading cards in a generation. Generation's a long time. I think in our generation, Ryan, we've seen serial number cards, autograph cards, patch cards, dual autograph cards, cut autograph cards. We've seen just a dramatic, a dramatic increase in the types of cards and the collectability of cards over our lifetime, our generation. Do you believe this tiny little patch that's going to be cut off and put into one card where 99.99999% of collectors will never probably even see this card, let alone have the funds to buy it or potentially even buy it? Do you think this is a big announcement and an innovative move for the generations in the hobby, Ryan?
Well, all these are going to end up in loaded boxes over at Backyard Breaks anyways, right? So that's how that's going to work. So look, I actually think it's a cool idea. The problem I had with it is they build this at the Topps party that, remember, C-Blast talked to us about, not the Topps party, the Topps industry conference that C-Blast went to and he talked to us about. They build this as the biggest product innovation in a generation. So Brian Gray on AIH Sports Channel theorized that maybe LeBron James was going to sign with Fanatics. That might still happen, but that was the thought, that it was going to be something actually big. These guys wearing a patch where, again, how many rookies? Dude, there's going to be a bunch of guys making cup of coffees in September. Dude, like those relief pitchers who literally pitch 9 innings and then they'll never play again in the big leagues. Like, they're just going to be, a bunch of these junk patches out there. I don't know how they're going to distribute the cards. Are these cards going to be in cheap products? Are they going to be in expensive products? Are they going to be on Golden? Are they going to be, are they going to consign them with their guy, Richard, who works for them? I don't know how you're going to be able to buy these cards, how the cards are going to look. I think it's a cool idea. The problem was, and here's the worry, if Fanatics thinks this is like a generational idea, oh, this whole thing about 10xing the hobby and growing the hobby, that's all BS, guys. This is just a bunch of hot air that these guys are blowing, because this isn't a generational idea. Every card company has come up with something as equal to this. When you give this a little air to breathe, and when you see these cards, and when a lot of these rookies aren't even a big deal, you're going to be like, that's a cool idea, but like, I can't afford those cards, or Backyard Breaks only pulls those cards, so I never even see them. So the problem was, to me, is Fanatics overhyped, underdelivered, and is that going to be the norm going forward with Fanatics? Is that the way they're going to do business? Overhype, underdeliver. That's a scary proposition, because, they've got Manfred, the commissioner, in this video. They've got the CEO, the Mahan guy, being like, oh, this is generational. It's like, guys, where have you been? Like, I know it's been a sleepy hobby for 10 or 20 years, and they haven't put big marketing into it. This is not a freaking generational idea, like, at all. I could rattle off 5 things in my head that maybe aren't as cool or as interesting, but will generate more money and more interest and reach more collectors. How many rookies debut each year? I don't freaking know. 100? I don't know. Something around that number. And so what? There's only going to be 100 of these cards? How many people? Like, this is not going to impact that many people. So they overhyped, they underdelivered. That's the only problem. I think it's a cool idea. I love the integration, but it's just a effing, I'm worried about the future of their marketing. and their other plans. And when they tell us something big will happen, that it'll be underwhelming.
Yeah, and I think I tell you what though, they did hit it out of the park from a marketing perspective. I saw a ton of tweets for cards that like almost no one's ever going to see and no one's ever going to buy. But when they do come up, so there was the Yankees prospect. His name slips my mind today, but I was watching. So I was watching the Yankees. They've got a young prospect up. He's got one of these patches on. He looks like a pretty darn good player to me. So when that card does get pulled, when that card maybe potentially gets up on an auction site like Golden or something, and it starts generating a lot of interest and stuff like that, yeah, only one person is going to buy that. Only one person's going to have a chance to buy that card. It's probably going to end up in the hand of a collector, and maybe you see it a couple times, over the course of your lifetime collecting. It will create a lot of marketing though, and so I will give them credit here. They went over the top with the marketing, the most innovative move in a generation. It's a little over the top for me, but it is a marketing move. It is going to garner attention. When these cards do hit the shelves, people are going to be chasing for them. They're going to be looking for them. When they are pulled, it'll be a discussion point. That's more than we can say about most cards.